So let's say you grew up in Utah wanting to be a filmmaker, and your ever-encouraging dad used to bring you to Sundance Film Festival. It became a yearly tradition, but then you moved to California in 2019, and between that and the global panini, suddenly it's been a long time since you went. Coincidentally, you also haven't had a crush on someone since 2019, but over the last few months, you've hung out a few times with someone who lives in Utah, and you start crushing hard. So you think, hey, two birds, one stone, and you buy a ticket to the opening weekend of Sundance, and you tell the girl, and it doesn't go as planned. It goes quite poorly, actually. So what do? Well, luckily it's the beginning of a long weekend, so you get an extra day to wallow in self-misery. Some time to spend at the beach, pretending like you're in your own coming-of-age Sundance film. And by the end of the weekend, you've pretty much come to terms with the situation, but you're definitely not looking forward to going through the festival on your own. Cut to interior, evening, the Tuesday before the festival. Your phone buzzes. It's your friend Chris, who just so happens to be organizing a last-minute opening weekend Sundance trip with some cool people, and they're looking for an extra person in their Airbnb. Thank fucking God. So now you're excited again, but you do something really abnormal. You don't think about the trip at all for the rest of the week. You don't learn who the other people are, you don't read about any of the films playing, and you don't try to make a schedule for your very, very limited amount of time. And this is something that your structure-riddled brain is screaming with discomfort at. But you commit to the bit anyways. Okay, so it's Friday. The festival started yesterday. You run into Chris at San Francisco airport, even though you're on different flights. You get into Salt Lake City pretty late at night. Your family has your old car from high school in storage near the airport, so you go to pick it up, and the battery is dead. It's also really, really fucking cold outside. But after flagging down a shuttle for a jump and changing the registration on the car, you are ready for some movie magic. Just gotta, drive up the giant canyon in the middle of the night and find an Airbnb full of random people hidden in the hills of Park City first. Okay, it's time to watch some movies. You don't have any tickets, though. Actually, you don't even know what's playing that day. But the people you're with seem to know some of what's playing, and they don't have anything scheduled either. So you all get really, really good at timing things to join the waitlist together. And when I say really, really good at timing this, I mean standing together in a circle with synchronized clocks counting down to the second that you can start frantically tapping the waitlist button and trying to get the lowest queue number. These virtual waitlists have come a long way from those early Sundance trips with my dad, where you just had to kind of stand in the cold for 90 minutes waiting to get in. But the waitlist is only virtual up until 30 minutes before the screening, so you best be sure that you are in line at that moment if you want them to use your virtual queue number. So this meant a lot of running around, which really, really reignited my fear of black ice. But you know what? It goes pretty well. You waitlist for some really, really cool films in some really, really cool theaters created by some really, really cool filmmakers. I mean, how can you not love the magic of movies in an environment like this? Everywhere you turn, there's exceptionally talented filmmakers and enthusiastic audiences. Sometimes you might even be talking shit about Jesse Eisenberg's new movie in a waitlist line, only to have the dude in front of you turn around and say that he's the editor of that movie. And they just found out that they sold it for $10 million that morning. Hey, luckily he seems like a good sport. You feel weird walking around Main Street. You grew up here. You've walked it countless times for who knows how many festivals, and yet you feel like a stranger. So you sneak your way into a filmmaker venue hosted by the company you used to work for, and you find a bunch of your old friends and coworkers to catch up with. You get to see filmmakers learning about the things that you helped make, the things that you made that helped make their films. In a lot of ways, being part of the world of filmmaking can feel like this very unreachable place, occupied only by a handful of talented people being invited to world-class events like Sundance. But it's easy to forget that you can just do the thing. You can just go. You can put yourself in environments that feel out of reach. Movies aren't really so removed from the rest of life. They're universal, and the people who make them are just normal people, bundled up and shivering in the January mountain air, just like you. I've been feeling lately like film is making a big renaissance in this decade. This year, Sundance felt just as much like a cool event that a lot of friends were interested in, as much as it used to feel like a very exclusive networking and career opportunity. Even though I didn't know these people I spent the weekend with just a few days earlier, I couldn't think of a better group to run around Park City with and appreciate incredible storytelling and just having a good time. Seeing back-to-back movies for multiple days will do something to you, you know? They start to blend together and you don't have the usual time to digest them. You don't even want to think about the amount of time that you spend sitting in a chair and eating junk food. But it's such a special experience, such a special energy, seeing the premiere of visionary films all happening in the same weekend in the presence of filmmakers. I love Sundance. It's been way too long since doing this, and even though it didn't go nearly as planned originally, I couldn't think of a better way to spend the opening weekend of Sundance 2024, and I really want to do it again, minus the first part. So if you like movies, I hope you give Sundance a shot too. Maybe I'll see you in Park City on Main Street next January. Until then, go watch some good movies.